Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks for tuning back in. To start things off, I just want to mention I am going to be starting a giveaway for anybody who hits me with a like, subscribe, and comment. At the end of every month, I will be just throwing out 20 bucks to anybody randomly chose. And at this rate, you got a pretty good chance of being the one that gets the money. So feel free to do that if you want. If not, whatever, man. But jumping right into it. All right. The news you missed. Well, everybody was paying attention to the hack today. Okay. Right. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Like, if there wasn't such wild news going on everywhere, this one would be bigger than Exxon Valdez, bigger than any of the major disasters that we've had in the past. But somehow, well, we know how. No one's talking about it. It's not even frontline fucking news, man. It's crazy. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on, man? So, all right. So they somehow a ship lost 56,000 radioactive waste barrels. Let me repeat that in case you didn't hear me. 56,000 barrels of radioactive waste off of the coast. And you thought when an oil spill was bad, holy shit, this just is insane. No, I cannot believe that everybody's not talking about this. This is going to be one of the most devastating events in the history of fuck, I don't know, man. Have you ever even heard of anything like this happening? And what let's figure out together. I just pulled this article up. This is a fresh read. I haven't even looked into it. So we're figuring this out together, all right, guys? So let's jump right into this. We're never going to get them back. More than 56,000 barrels of radioactive waste dumped off U.S. coast, LAT reports. A new report in the Los Angeles Times indicates that pollution in the Pacific Ocean off the California coast could be even more dangerous than originally thought. What was once thought to be thousands of barrels of DDT may actually be low-level radioactive waste, and the DDT that was detected was not contained in barrels at all, but rather poured directly into the ocean, according to researchers. So they're just kicking the tops off these puppies, off these cans, right? Pouring right over the side of the ship. Fuck it, them barrels cost money, boy. We can fill them back up and then double down on this effort, right? We're not gonna lose those barrels, right? That's a cool picture too, by the way. It's just crazy to me, man. This happened 10 years ago. Whatever corporation did this would be in prison. And I can guarantee you, as always, none's ever going to happen, right? Moving forward. Instead, scientists believe that between 1940s and 1960s, local hospital labs and other industrial operations disposed of barrels of tritium, carbon-14, and other similar waste at sea. The Times reported on Wednesday. The numbers of such disposals are staggering. One map from the International Atomic Energy Agency said that over a 25-year period ending in 1970, more than 56,000 barrels of radioactive waste had been dumped in the Pacific Ocean on the U.S. side alone. Okay. Like I said, we're reading this together. I didn't know. For a second, I was like, yo, did they just try to roll out there and just start pouring these barrels out like on one trip? I was like, dude, these people are crazy. All right, so we got a little bit more context there, right? So, still, man, it doesn't really take away from it. I mean, so they've normalized this process of just dumping radioactive waste in our oceans, right? Where are the eco people at? You're not hearing much out of them. They're busy throwing paint on the Mona Lisa, right? It's just stupid, man. And that's just achieving nothing for anybody, you know? So, move forward. Scientists have spotted some of those barrels under more than 3,000 feet of water near the Catalina Island, a place they're likely to stay. The problem with the oceans as a dumping solution is once it's there, you can't go back and get it, said Ken Busler, a marine radiochemist, senior scientist at Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution and director of the Center of Marine Environmental Radioactivity. That's a mouthful, dude. These 56,000 barrels, for example, we're never going to get them back. Okay. It's not just toxic chemicals. It's radioactive waste was also dumped off Los Angeles. Okay, so yeah, they're just any chemicals. Any chemicals, they just throw them in the ocean, man. No one ain't gonna know, you know? So anything goes, I guess, huh? So for decades, a graveyard of corroding barrels has littered the sea floor just off the coast of Los Angeles. It was out of sight, out of mind, a not so secret that haunted the marine environment until a team of researchers came across them with an advanced underwater camera. Speculation abounded as to what the mysterious barrels might contain. Startling amounts of DDT near the barrels pointed to a little known history of toxic pollution from what was once the largest DDT manufacturer in the nation, but federal regulators recently determined that the manufacturer had not bothered with the barrels. Its acid waste was poured straight into the ocean instead. You know, kind of makes sense why we see all these fish die-offs now, right? It's not climate change that's killing the whales. It's these big-ass corporations that are just dumping their shit right into the ocean, right? It's really a shame, man. And once again, no accountability. Nobody will stop them. As like 90% of the stuff we cover on here. So now is a part of an unprecedented reckoning with the legacy of ocean dumping in Southern California. Scientists have concluded that barrels may have actually contained low-level radioactive waste. Records show from the 1940s through 1960s, it was not uncommon for local hospitals, labs, and other industrial operations to dispose of barrels of tritium, carbon-14, and other similar waste at sea. This is a classic situation of bad versus worse. It's bad we have potential low-level radioactive waste just sitting on the seafloor. It's worse that we have DDT compounds spread across a wide area of the seafloor at concerning concentrations, said David Valentine, whose research team at UC Santa Barbara had first discovered the barrels and sparked concerns of what could be inside. The question we grapple with now is how bad and how much worse. Shit. All right. This is the latest revelation from Valentina's team was published Wednesday in Environmental Science and Technology as part of a broader, highly anticipated study that lays the groundwork for understanding just how much DDT is spread across the seafloor and how the contamination might still be moving 3,000 feet underwater. Public concerns have intensified since the Times reported in 2020 that this is going to be a fun word. Dichlorodiphenotrylchloroethane, man, in 1972, following Rachel Carson's Silent Spring. It's still haunting the marine environment in insidious ways. Scientists continue to trace significant amounts of this decades-old, forever chemical all the way up the marine food chain. And a recent study linked in the presence of this once popular pesticide to an aggressive cancer in California's sea lions. And also you. Don't forget, you're eating the shit. Dozens of ecotoxicologists and marine scientists are now trying to fill key data gaps. And the findings so far have been one plot twist after another. A research team led by UC San Diego's Scripps Institution of Oceanography just recently set sail to help map and identify as many barrels as possible on the seafloor, only to discover a multitude of discarded military explosives from the World War II era. Oh, nice. And in the process of digging up old records, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency discovered that from 1930s to the early 1970s, 13 other areas of Southern California coast have had also been approved for dumping off military explosives, radioactive waste, and various refinery byproducts, including 3 million metric tons of petroleum waste. In a study published this week, Valentine found high concentrations of DDT spread across a wide swath of seafloor, larger than the city of San Francisco. His team has been collecting hundreds of sediment samples as part of a methodical large-scale effort to map the footprint of the dumping and analyze how the chemical might be moving through the water and whether has broken down. After many trips out to sea, they still have yet to find the boundary of the dump site, but concluded that much of the DDT in the deep ocean remains, it's in the most potent form. Oh, fan freaking tastic, man. Oh, that's so great to hear. Still in the most potent form. It has not half-life. It hasn't deteriorated even a little bit. So that's good. Man, it's so funny too because I could be imagining like being around in like the 1950s, right? And they're like, "What the hell are we gonna do with this radioactive waste?" So there's like, "We got a boat." Ain't nobody gonna know out there in them oceans, son. I'm gonna just toss it over the edge, you know what I'm saying? We'll fucking move on with our lives, right? You know, not realizing like the devastation it's gonna cause to the fish and everything that's down there, right? So it's kind of funny how that works out, right? Jacob Schmidt, lead author and study of the PhD candidates in Valentine's lab, combed through hundreds of pages of old records and tracked down 7 lines of evidence indicating that California Salvage, the same company tasked with pouring the DDT waste off the coast of Los Angeles, had also dumped low-level radioactive waste while out to sea. The company, now defunct, had received a permit in 1959 to dump containerized radioactive waste about 150 miles offshore, according to the U.S. Federal Register. Although archive notes by the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission say the permit was never activated, other records show California Salvage advertised its radioactive waste disposal services and received waste in the 1960s from blah, 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 blah. You get the point, right? This is pretty major news coming out. Like, this is today, and the lot of today's news, right? We're all kind of focusing on the hack thing, which is very serious. Let's be real. I mean, I put a video out earlier. They are poking and prodding to find when it's going to be time. I mean, they've told us so many times it's going to be via hack. The WEF, the Obamas in their cute little movie about not trusting white people, right? They have pushed it. And then on top of that, just even like all the CIA operatives, right? You know, Fox News, CNN, all the alphabet soup agencies, right? They're all saying the same song. And it's pretty straightforward, man. They're going to take down some infrastructure and it's going to get ugly. But I just figured let's go ahead and go over this article together and see what's up, man, because we're all missing a lot of news. I bet today's going to be an interesting news day if it wasn't for that hack, you know. So I'm going to do a couple more videos after this of just shit that went under the radar. So I'll have another one posted up here in a little bit, boys and girls. So, all right, you guys have a good rest of the day. Appreciate your time. And I want you to have a good rest of the day. And, yeah, appreciate everything you guys are doing for me. And, yeah, leave a like, whatever. Like I said, no big deal. Or a comment, subscribe. Whatever the fuck. All right. Later.